Welcome to Conversations in the Coop. I'm your host, Trinity Director of Athletics, Drew Galbraith. In this special edition, we're joined by two members of Trinity's Frozen Four-bound men's ice hockey team, Gerard, Marretta, Casey Rhodes. Guys, thanks for joining me, and congrats on the big win Saturday night in the quarterfinals. So now you get a week on campus and get to play in a Frozen Four in your home rink. Just react to that. What's that feel like?
I mean, it's not over yet, but it is a dream come true to be in the Frozen Four. We had a lot of pressure to get here from the start of the year, knowing that we were hosting, and to finally make it it feels great.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, since freshman year, we've been kind of honing in on knowing that we have this opportunity, and now that it's here, like, we're ready to go.
So that's a bid process that started actually before. You guys might have maybe been committed to Trinity, but probably definitely weren't here yet. And then you go through your first year is COVID and no season, so then you kind of fast forward into your sophomore year, a NESCAC title, an opportunity with a road game in the first round of the tournament, and a a first round loss. So how has all of that kind of just fueled this journey for this large senior class, which is stuck together through a lot?
Yeah, we did stick together through a lot. I know we would have had a great team our freshman year, so we were pretty bummed that we couldn't play that year. So the next year fueled us even more to be great, and we won the NESCAC championship. Unfortunate that we lost in the first round, but that also fueled us that loss to be better. And then junior year, it didn't really turn out the way we wanted to, but we always knew in the back of our head our senior year was going to be the most important year. And I mean, throughout the summer, throughout the beginning of this year, we couldn't help but talk about how great it would be to make it to this point where we're at now.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I think since sophomore year, like, we've all come really close. Like, we've had this huge class, and knowing that we have like 12 to 14 guys all behind us, and like we're all brothers, and having that commodity together has been like a huge aspect of why we're here now, honestly.
Yeah, and it's the hockey program at Trinity has always been a tight-knit group of guys. You all come in with a bit of a shared experience, typically maybe a year or two older. Guys play a little bit of junior hockey before they get here. But there is something special about this senior class. We don't often see in programs where you get, on a team of 32, 33 to have double-digit seniors. What is the special bond of this group? Because there's something there.
Yeah, we're all very close, and honestly, COVID may have made us closer. I think being stuck inside our dorms, and a lot of us had online classes, we were kind of forced to be together all day, every day. And we still had practices and workouts every day, so we didn't lose that. But I think COVID really helped us bond, and just having such a big grade, we were able to go on trips together, and it's such a big grade, and we're all similar in age with juniors. We have shared experiences, like you said, and I think that all plays into being having a close bond.
I think, like, I agree with you, and the shared experiences are a huge aspect of it, but also, like, we all have respect for each other, and we all just love each other, and I think that's what it comes down to. Just the love for one another is, like, the biggest aspect of it, in my opinion.
I've got to ask about one of those experiences, because it was big in my life. If you go back to the fall of 2020, there was a moment when Trinity suddenly had a lot of COVID cases in October of 2020. And it happened at that moment that we had a bunch of men's lacrosse players and a bunch of men's hockey players in the COVID dorm. And there was a Saturday morning where a couple of college officials and myself asked the captains at the time of both teams, say, listen, you guys got to double up, because otherwise Trinity closes down. We send everybody home. Were either of you in Doonesbury at the...
I was, actually.
I was not, but I hear stories from those times, and it is pretty crazy.
It was crazy. We had a lot of the seniors in there, so... Mm-hmm. And you know them, they were a great group of kids, and I actually had to live with a junior who I had no idea who they were as a freshman, and they were a lacrosse player.
Yeah.
So it was cool. It was like a good experience, but I feel like that really got also like both teams closer as well. Like just school in general, everyone has great relationships with each other, and I feel like that's a great part of the school.
Yeah, I remember one by one, guys on the team were just going down with COVID. And just send them to Doonesbury. We didn't know who was going to be next, and it was kind of like a fun little game we were playing.
It was a fun game.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a good way to describe it. So kind of fast forward through this year, there was a road trip back in early February. You guys are up at, you actually win an overtime game on Saturday afternoon at Middlebury. Did you have any idea at that moment, or did anybody on the team allow it to creep in their heads, like, this is the last real bus trip, overnight trip we're taking for the rest of the year? Just a little 30-minute jaunt down to Wesleyan the last weekend of the regular season. That's it. You guys earned the opportunity to play all these meaningful games at home.
Yeah, that's actually a great point. I didn't realize it was going to be our last bus trip until someone announced it. Someone said on the bus ride going home about halfway through the trip, like, this might be our last roadie, and it kind of hit me at that moment, like, my season's almost over, like, we got to make the most of this year. And it's a little sad because bus rides they're the best and worst part of being on a hockey team, I think. And just knowing that it was almost over, it was a little sad, but it's been great to play home games, and knowing that we were playing home games for the last 7 or so games it's a great experience.
I just echo that completely, honestly.
So I gotta ask, because we just had the basketball team in the Final Four, and a couple of them have said this. It's about kind of maximizing these days together, right? And the idea of going down to the rink and practicing and getting ready for a big game is almost as important as the games themselves, just in terms of the experience. Do both of you feel that a little bit? Like, hey, we're getting an opportunity to literally maximize our time together as teammates.
Totally. I mean, when I think about it, like, from the big picture, there's 2 possible games of ice hockey left. So I think cherishing the moments every time you're at the rink, every time you're in the weight room, whether you're dreading a workout or not, I think just being in the moment and appreciating that it's almost over, and you got 2 games left, leave it all out there. I think all the guys know that. Just be grateful for the position we're in now. So we're not taking any time for granted.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that, like, having all of us, like, as brothers all together, and, like, we share so much time together, like, we don't leave each other's side. Like, every opportunity you get, we're together, and I feel like this last week, having this last opportunity, like, it's the last 2 games, possibly 2 games of our career, so it's super important to us, and I feel like as a family, like, we're able and possibly get it done. So
NESCAC tournament, students were still here. You're able to win the NESCAC tournament in front of your home fans and a couple of great crowds that weekend. This past Saturday was the end of spring break, so mainly spring sports that were back, and we had a couple of other teams that were back. So it was we'll call it a small but mighty crowd. Big student crowd already signed up to come to the games on Thursday night. How much do you hear that? Hockey's a different game. You're flying around on the ice. You got the boards blocking some of the sound. How much do you hear it? How much do you not? How much does it make a difference?
I think it makes a huge difference, just the presence that you could see, just seeing the crowd out there. It's awesome. Me personally, I try to block it out sometimes and not let it get to my head, because when you hear the crowd, sometimes you might want to do a little extra, maybe give a guy an extra jab, take a stupid penalty. So I try not to focus on the crowd, but it definitely plays an important role. And knowing that we have that presence there it feels great. It's really it helps us on the bench a lot.
Yeah. And then even going from, like, the whole regular season, like, we didn't have that crowd. So
right.
Now coming into playoffs, like, I try not to engage with it, and I kind of zone in as well with, like, Gerard. And the moments that I do hear it, it's the moments when, like, we make a big play, and then you hear the place just erupt, and it's such a great feeling. And even when you're on the bench, like, you're hearing people chant whatever they're chanting, either it's against the other goalie or it's against the refs, but it's great. It just creates a great atmosphere for us, and it kind of fuels us, honestly.
Yeah, and going off that, I think the last 5, maybe 3 minutes or so, I'll take a glance, and I think that's when I realize, like, wow, we have an awesome crowd here, and it's a cool experience knowing that we have that support from everyone on campus.
Yeah, it is interesting to watch, and sometimes the schedules just work out the way they do. So both men's hockey and men's basketball this year, the way the NESCAC schedules fell, you had a lot of home series while the students were still gone during J-term, and then they come back. But listen, you get to play in front of your home fans. So maybe the last one, just kind of put it into words, like the totality of the experience. Like, it literally can't end any better than a home Frozen Four, for your senior year. And, like, how do you kind of start to just be present for Thursday's game? So when do you start kind of locking into that just mental prep just to be ready to go out and play your best game Thursday.
Yeah, it's hard to put into words. It almost is picture perfect to end senior year, home crowd, possibly winning the national championship. You can't even dream about that, but I think we're already locked in now. After that game, maybe we celebrated a little bit after, but the next day we're locked in knowing that it's definitely not over yet, and we got to get it done because this opportunity doesn't come a lot, and it's an amazing experience that we're here now, so we have to make the most of it.
Yeah, I agree. I think honestly, like since we won the NESCAC, like right afterward, we're not done. Like we knew it right away, and I think we've been locked in since. So every step of the way is like it's a little adversity, but we're still pushing. So
Well, the entire Trinity Nation is out there cheering for you, and there'll be a lot of them in the barn on Thursday night at 7 o'clock when you guys take on Adrian in the first round. I got lots of names clicking
Yeah.
right ahead. Well, congratulations to both of you. Good
Thank
luck,
you.
Gerard. Good luck, Casey, and we'll see you all Thursday night.
Thank you very
really
much.
appreciate it.
That'll do it for this special Conversations in the Coop. For all the latest news, scores, and schedules, go to bantamsports.com. Follow us on social at Bantam Sports. Until next time.